Hey everybody, welcome to day 144 on the CDT. I believe I made a mistake in yesterday's video and called it day 142. Yesterday was day 143. So I think that's the second time I've done it out of 144 days, so not too bad. It looks like creepy tent videos are just going to be the way that we're doing this for the last few days. I get up, I hike, like I'm eating lunch quickly, like 20 to 30 minutes. 30 minutes is if I have to dry stuff because of condensation, which I've had to do the last couple days. But like eating wise, like I'm taking a 20-minute break, eating my food and packing up and getting going. I'm trying to hike as many miles as I can so that on Tuesday it's a shorter day. I hiked 26 miles today. It was easier terrain, but I ran into an issue this morning where here's your poop date. I woke up and my body indicated like, hey, the poo fairy's here. It's time to poo. So that's not surprising, considering I didn't poop yesterday. So first thing this morning I pooped and it kind of interrupted my routine, and then I got back to the tent to kind of resume packing everything up, and I looked at my watch and realized I totally slept through my alarm. I think I've mentioned my watch does 16 beeps and then waits 5 minutes and does 16 more beeps, and they're not they're annoying beeps, then they're loud. I have my alarm set for, I think, like 5:36 or 5:41 or something like that. And I looked at my watch when I got back from pooping and it was like 6:29. And it only took me like 10 minutes to go out and dig the whole poop, all that stuff. So that means I slept till like 6:19. So that means I didn't get on trail this morning until about 7:45, which is 45 minutes late for me. So I spent the day catching up mileage. I could have hiked 27 today, but the comments in our navigation app seem to indicate that there's dense forest up ahead, and there's camping sites. There's a lake, I think like a tenth of a mile, and there's camping sites leading up to the lake, and I think around the lake. So I said to myself, look, dense forest, trying to find camping, that's difficult. So I went ahead and just called it at 26 miles, put up my tent, and it was probably the right call. So tomorrow I'll try not to blow through my alarm and try to get another 27-mile day. If I can do 27 tomorrow, I believe that leaves only 20 on Tuesday, and that means I can get into town likely around like 3 p.m. So I can immediately check into my hotel. I can go pick up my resupply box. I can do my, like, sort through it and do my resupply that day. I can do my laundry that night, take a shower, eat some town food, that afternoon and evening. And that leaves all the next day, because I think I'm going to take a 0, I'm pretty sure. But that leaves the whole next day to figure out my permits for a glacier, and also figure out the route I'm going to take, because I need to ask the wilderness office, hey, if I'm hiking solo through the park, is there one route that's safer than the other route? So I think that's what it's coming down to. Now, if I get to East Glacier and I run into a couple of hikers I know, and we're all amenable to hiking through and we want to hike to the same terminus, that kind of stuff, then that may change. But right now, since Lima, at the very beginning, almost at the very beginning of this state, I've been hiking solo. So who knows if that'll change. The problem I'm running into is I'm catching hikers, and that's because some of them took the Big Sky alternate. Some, even though they took the Anaconda cutoff, like I still caught up with them because they took like zeros in Helena and Lincoln, or Augusta. Somebody said it. How they say it the other day? Augusta. So I don't know how Montana pronounces it, but if they took if they took the Anaconda cutoff and they took 2 zeros in one of those 3 towns, meaning like, if you zeroed in Helena and Augusta, then I can catch you, because I hiked the 99 miles from Butte to Helena in essentially 3 days, 3 days and a morning. And I've been hiking big miles. Like when I took the Butte the CDT proper around Butte, I was still hiking. I'd have to go back and look at the videos on my logbook, but I think I was still hiking 27s. So then I was hiking 30s into Helena, and then since Helena, including today, these last 8 days, I think I've been averaging around like 26 or 27. So the reason I know I can catch people if they took 2 rest days, there were 2 hikers that I was leapfrogging with before I got into Wisdom. And if just a reminder, after Wisdom, that's where you either take the Anaconda or stay on the CDT proper. And I was hiking around them, hiking into Wisdom, Montana, and I caught them 6 days ago, I think. And I haven't seen them since. I think they went into Augusta. So it's possible that for me to catch people. So there's been hikers that have taken different types of alternates or cutoffs or whatever, and I've caught them, but I'm hiking bigger miles than them, at least when I'm around them. And so I'm only around them for like half a day or so. So if I can find some hikers in East Glacier, then I'm already, we're going to the park, so I don't need to hike 27 to 30 miles a day. I just need to hike enough to finish that section in Glacier National Park. So we'll see what happens. It was cloudy today, but it was weird. So the clouds were wispy, and then there was a cloud cover all day, but it didn't rain. It just meant it was a cooler day, like temperature-wise. Like the sun was out in the morning, and then I think it was around lunchtime, it went behind some clouds, and the wind picked up, so it was a little bit cooler. The first 2 miles today were in... There's a bug in here. The first 2 miles were in dense forest, and then we got to a pretty big burn area. And I want to say the next 14 miles, I think, we were hiking across the burn. So it was a pretty severe fire. You can just tell by how much, no trees survived. They're all dead. And they've either fallen down or standing up. And there's young trees that have been growing. And the burn area was it was multiple burns. Like one was really old. One was kind of a newer burn. One was a few years ago. And you can tell that by the vegetation and the trees that are growing back. But it meant that we were not in dense forest. So I was a little bit more comfortable today than I thought I was going to be, just because because we stayed between like 5,500 and 6,500, I thought that meant we were going to be in dense forest all day, and we weren't. At the end of the day, I hiked down towards this lake, and I'm in forest again. So, and the forest adds condensation to the tent, so that's why I have to set my stuff out at lunch. No, I did not see any tracks for brouhahas, so no mountain lion versus wolf versus bear that I saw. I didn't hear any elk bugling. I didn't see anybody. I've noticed the last couple of days my videos have been like 20 minutes. That diarrhea of the mouth, that comes because I haven't seen anybody in days. Through hikers, the last through hiker I saw was the third day out of Helena. So that was 5 days ago. I haven't seen a through hiker in 5 days. I've seen some like day hikers or weekend hikers, but that was before the Bob Wilderness. So that's today was the third day in the Bob. So that was 4 days ago that I saw those weekend hikers and day hikers. So I think it's been 5 days since I've seen a through hiker and 4 days since I've seen anybody. So I think that's why when I get on these videos, it's like, oh, it's time to talk. Let's see, anything else special about today? I think I have to do my logbook. I haven't done it yet. I think I passed 2,700 miles today. If that's true, that means I have less than 200 miles. I think I have, it would be like around 150 left. So we're getting close to the end. Yeah, I don't think anything else. I do want to give a shout out to the trail crews that came through. So the southbound hikers, they were all a tizzy about the Bob Marshall Wilderness because they said the blowdowns were horrible. I think one person described it as the devil's pickup sticks. And hiking through today, I can see what they mean. Like the trail crews had to cut a lot of downfall across the trail. You could just see the fresh cuts all over the place. And there were 2 places in particular that were really bad. They were all in burn areas, or most of them were in burn areas, so that's not surprising. And I think one area is going to be a real trouble spot because it was a recent burn. And like there's a comment, hey, trail crews are finished, everything's all clear. Like that's a comment in our navigation app. And there was a 2-mile stretch that I hiked today that had 56 trees still down, that I stepped over. And you can tell the trail crew had been through that area. So that means that since the trail crew came through, they had almost, nearly 5 dozen trees fall again within the last 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month. So I think that's going to be a problem area for them. But it was hiking through there was a heck of a lot better than when the southbounders came through. So shout out to the trail crews for their work. They definitely did an awesome job, and you can tell it was just a ginormous job. So I guess one last thing, you may ask, like, hey man, you just mentioned you haven't seen anybody in 4 days, or any through hikers in 5 days, and anybody in 4 days. Like, what are you doing? Besides jingling my bell and yelling "Yo Bear" every 15 to 20 seconds, I'm kind of lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts are focusing on what's next. And what I mean by that is I took a leave of absence from work, and so, it's my decision if I want to go back to the firm, supporting the same client. That's whether or not the contract has room for me. And that's what happened, like when I took a leave of absence in 2013 to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. When I came back, that contract didn't have room for me. So I had to find a new client, and that's the client I've been supporting the last 8.5 years. So if they don't have room for me, then I would have to I'd go back to the firm and support a different client. or I can decide to go elsewhere. So that's that's been my thoughts. I've been trying to figure out what's next. I let the lease on my duplex go, so my stuff's in a pod. I can move anywhere. I don't have any debt. I paid off my student loans. That was one of the huge things I wanted to do before I hiked again, was to pay off. There were two huge things before I did another through hike. One was I was going to wait till Bo passed, because the separation the first time when I did the PCT was, I think, hard on both of us. Not that I think, it was hard on both of us. Like, Bo's separation anxiety came back. Like, once I returned from the PCT, he didn't want to let me out of his sight. So I waited till he passed. The second was I wanted to pay off my grad student loans because they were ginormous. The University of Denver is a private school. I was there for 3 years getting 2 degrees. And it was super expensive, more than 6 figures. So I got those paid off, which kind of frees me up to consider nonprofit and similar types of organizations. So that's what I've been thinking about, is what am I going to do next? I mean, I haven't, when I say I haven't seen anybody, I also haven't been able to contact anybody because I haven't had cell reception for, was it the second day out of Helena? Is that right? So I haven't had cell reception for 5 or 6 days. So yeah, that's what I've been thinking about. So I'll let you folks go. Thanks for watching the videos. I'm sorry about creepy tent videos. I have tomorrow, and I'll get out of the Bob tomorrow, the Bob Marshall Wilderness tomorrow. It's just a few miles down the trail. So I have tomorrow, I have Tuesday, and I'll get into East Glacier on Tuesday. And then I'll have, I think it's 4 days in Glacier National Park. So essentially 6 either partial or full hiking days left. And then I'm finished. So thanks for hanging with me this long in the journey. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's healthy. And I'll talk to you folks tomorrow. Bye.